There we go. Now we're recording. Okay, so we've had loads of feedback about what you guys want to cover tonight. I've had some people wanted some help with some retail. Some people wanted some help with some online retail. Other people wanting help with sponsoring. So we're going to put it all together because it's all kind of meshing into each other. So when I get the right button, there we go. Can you all see that? Can you nod your heads if you can see it? Building your team? Fantastic. Okay, so what Rob was showing you in those videos is that when you develop a team of about 10 people and you're all turning over about £11,000 per month, you can do it on less. That's what's known as a gold distributor, and that gives you about £1,200 worth of income. And the beautiful thing about that is if you weren't able to retail that month, or you went on holiday or something happened, you'd still get in about £900 a month as a royalty income. And that's what the key to this thing's about. It's about building up that income that keeps coming in, whether you're busy on it or not, which I find really fantastic. So what we want to do is get people up to gold distributor, and we're really lucky now because we've got the Christmas rush, and what you'll see when the figures are released tomorrow is that the orders have really jumped up. Our own personal little group retail figures have shot right up. People are doing really well. People are going from 0 to reward points very, very quickly. People are hitting the 10% faster than before. So now if you want to get the gold, if you want to put the work in, even part-time, within the next 2 periods, you could be a gold distributor earning £1,200 a month.
What is all on that stage?
And the great thing about it is that that'll continue after Christmas as well, because we have a really busy sort of January and February. There's loads of people are wanting to make money and get rid of Christmas debt, and you name it, it's just going on and on. So what I'd suggest is, guys, you need to aim to do a minimum of about £750 to £1,000 of retail yourself every 4-week period. And that's when you hit the £750, which is what's known as 650 bonus points, that gives you the 10% bonus level. And for those of you that don't know, the bonus points is just the retail price of £750. If you took the VAT off that, that would give you the bonus points level. And the reason why they have the bonus points is just purely because we work in different countries with different currencies, and it gets confusing, so we work on our own currency, which is known as bonus points. Now, for your online sales to help boost it up, here's some things that we all need to be doing. First of all, 5 products into your own group each day, and also 3 products into 50 external groups per day. Now that sounds like a lot, but once you get the hang of it, you can probably do that in about 2.5 hours. You can also put 10 products per day onto Gumtree, onto Spock, onto Facebook Marketplace, and there's lots of other selling sites coming up now. There's Carousel and a few others, so have a look. And the idea is you just want to get busy with this. That's one of the keys to success, get busy. And what you'll find is the orders start to come in. As it's Christmas, sales are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger online, as well as the catalogs. But if you get busy, you've got all these posts out there that are live, and that'll work. But a couple of keys to it, guys, is with your online customers, make sure you keep in touch with them. A lot of people just get a sale off them and forget about them. Create yourself a little database and just pop back to the customer maybe a week after you've sold the product and just check the hobby. And then maybe every 3 or 4 weeks, you can just get in touch with that customer again, say we've got some new items coming in, have a look at your shopping group. And it's a bit like putting a catalogue through the door every 4 weeks. You just want to keep in touch with those customers. And because they get to know you, you know, they know it's Sheila or Mel or whoever, they'd rather buy off you than buy from somebody else. And that's a good point. Also, guys, really, really focus on editing all your images and building your brand. Again, every picture you put up, no matter where it is, needs the name of your group on there. It builds your brand, and again, it's reminding the customers to come back to you. Now, we've had a few people asking about Facebook bans and how do you keep Facebook happy. And we're seeing some people are getting bans pretty quickly and some aren't. And the reason being is if you've not been that active on Facebook before and you suddenly start getting busy doing this, you can get a ban pretty quickly. So some of the things to do is get busy on Facebook. Let's get busy again. Get busy on Facebook with non-sales posts every day. And some of these things that you can be doing, and you want to do as many as you can, is first of all, share one of those fun interactive posts on your own profile. And then when people respond to it and do it, comment on it and work it. Keep that interactive post going. Share a video. You can go onto YouTube and just look at a bit of music that you liked years ago. Share that onto your own timeline. Say something like, oh, here's a blast from the past. Who remembers this? Again, you want people to comment and come back. Share a question. Ask a daft question. I put one up a while ago. Why is it young women wear so much makeup? That's a bit of a dangerous one. I got quite a bit of grief for that. But just those sort of questions get people commenting. And again, the more interactivity on your Facebook profile, the more visibility you get elsewhere. Ask for a recommendation. Where can I buy this pair of shoes? Where can I buy a decent pair of jeans? Who knows a hairdresser who does such and such? Get a recommendation. Check-ins are also important. So whenever you go out to a restaurant or somewhere for a meal or even the supermarket, check in. Facebook love that as well. Make sure you comment on other friends' posts. It's good to do that because then you're being social. That's the whole point of this. And then finally, share other people's posts, funny ones, pictures. The list is endless, guys. Just keep busy and try and get, for every one product that you're posting somewhere, try and get 5 or 6 posts out there on Facebook, because that'll build month after month. And remember, they're going to start putting bigger bans in place from October, so we need to be careful with this. I'll cover some more of this in a minute. Some things not to do is never post links to your group, either in outside groups. Let me rephrase that. Every time you put a link to your group, Facebook class that as negative self-promotion. So you don't want to do it too much. So when you're posting in external groups, don't put the link to it. You can do it in a conversation, or you can do it in the comments below. When people start chatting back to you, that's the place to do it. Same in Messenger. If you're having a conversation with somebody, wait till they've started talking to you before you put a link, because they class that as spamming. So make sure you've got a conversation going on first. Posting to external groups. Now, we've said in the past to use Facebook Messenger and the little share button at the bottom. And what I'd say now is, guys, just avoid that at all costs. That is what seems to be picking up bans for people. Those sharing links are kind of there just for people who are maybe selling something as a one-off and getting it into 5 or 6 groups. If you start using that all the time, that really drains, the flexibility that Facebook give you, and I'd avoid doing that. The benefit to posting direct, to going into each group and posting direct into that group, is you get a much larger visibility. When you share a post, you get about 6% visibility. When you post direct, you're getting about 75%. So although it takes a bit longer, you'll find you're going to get more sales from doing that. Always, before you post into a group, always comment on other people's posts, like a few of the things, and be part of that community. Spread your posts out over the day. So it's best to maybe do a group in the morning, a group at lunchtime, and a group in the evening. However, if you're not able to do that, you can schedule them and do that both in the groups and on your own timeline. And a big thing to do, guys, if you're not getting enough sales, is to bump your posts about 7 p.m. Now, if you don't know what bumping is, just imagine you've put a post into an external group at 10 o'clock in the morning. If you go back into that same group and comment on your post, that bumps it back up to the top of the page. Now, if you can do that from 7 till 9, it gets it back up the top and you get more visibility. There's a couple of ways of doing it. You could say, I've only got one left, or you can actually just put a comment there, post it, or a dot, and then delete that comment so people can't see it, but it still keeps you bumped up to the top. If you're not getting enough sales, do bump your post, because that really makes a difference. Now, we've also got the online parties. The training for that is on the support website, if you hadn't a look at that, and there's the web address. Now, in your own group, use it as a showcase for your business, not just as a sales platform. When we were up in Edinburgh the other week or so, Nikki was telling us about how she does this. And she's basically posting, the regular 5 posts per day. And something you might want to try, I know you've been taught one way, but try this for a couple of days and see what happens, is just put the picture of the product up, make sure you've edited it, but don't put any details on, don't put a price on, and see how people react to that, because They might ask you how much it is or how big it is, and that gets you more interaction. Try that for a couple of days and just see what happens.
So just say message me for details.
Yeah, put message me for details and new stock. Make sure you put an interactive post up there every other day, and then make sure you work those interactive posts. So remember, like the comments, put a question, well, like this, or no, yes, get it wrong, try again. Really work those interactive posts. To give you an example, let me just come out of this for a second. To give you an example, if I go into Squirrel Shopping, I've got some in here I haven't touched for a couple of days. I'll just refresh that page. Now, interaction is really, really important. I know Gavin's got a good video there, but here's a post. So if you look at this one, this is a typical interactive post for you that don't know. And people have to comment below which tank they think will fill up first. Now, the answer is number 5. And this one's had 39 comments. So I'll just load that up. So when somebody, there you go. If you see this one, just make that a bit bigger so you can see it. When people put a post up there, I can like it. If they get it wrong, as you see here, I've put nope, try again. And every time you comment on the reply that they've put, it brings them back to the page and boosts that up. Does everybody get that? It's just really important with these interactive posts to keep them going. And this is why that one's got like 37 different comments on it. And I've got a load more to go for. And then there's further ones down. That one's a good one as well. What would you name them? We get loads on that. So that's how the interactive posts work. You need to be working those as much as you can. Again, if you can, 2 or 3 times a day, that really will make a difference. Let's get back into the presentation. Also, I mean, to give Sheila a good pat on the back, she's fantastic at this. If you look at Sheila's Go for Good, she's so good with her group. She's got lots of little quizzes, both on a group and on a timeline. Little quick competitions, caption competitions. You don't have to give a prize for these. You can just give people brownie points or whatever it is, or you could offer a little voucher. And it's just getting your group buzzing and really, really working. Main competitions, I would say now in the Christmas run-up, you want to be running one every other week, or at least, well, I'd say at least every other week, but you can run them every week. And the reason being is this brings in big numbers, gets your group really buzzing. And really you should be aiming to get your groups up to 20 to 30 Ks worth of members. Once you get that group built up, the sales come in much, much easier than if you're having to go into external groups all the time. And you're all in control of it. You don't get any negative comments off people in other groups. If you look at Nikki Carewood again, she's got 185,000 people in her group. That's a hell of a lot of people. And she's recruiting a lot of people from that group. So the idea is, we'll come to the recruiting in a minute, is that if you use your group as a showcase for the business, you're showing off all the products, you will get sales for that, but you also use it to bring people in. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. Now, you can also do catalogs, and people who are getting out there and doing catalogs. I know Sheila's doing really well with catalogs. Scott's doing fantastic with them at the moment. And what most people do is they work a retail plan of 200 twice a week just for part-timers. And this gives you a nice build-up of customers that you can go back to month after month. And it's lovely when they start ordering for the second and the third time. But even very part-time, if you aim for just servicing 25 customers a week, as Rob was saying in that video, that'll give you about £1,000 worth of orders. And then if you revisit those customers strictly every 4 weeks, they order again and again and again. The cataloguing takes a bit of work, but once you've got that customer base built, you'll see people like Satsagoo and Paul Tonkin are retailing between £5,000 and £8,000 worth of business every 4 weeks. So they're making £3,000 to £4,000 to £5,000 worth of income just off their retail every month. So it's all there for doing. So let's start on looking at building our teams. At the moment, the clean easy figures are there's about 300 to 400 people are joining every week and placing orders in roughly 7 to 10 days. And the question is, do you want some of them in your team? Do you want the extra income that that's going to bring you? If the answer is yes, just stop following some of this. So our aim is simply, when we're talking to people and going through, is to find out what they want. They might want some extra income. They might want more time so they can drop a job and make the money with us, do this sort of thing. And our job is just to help them to get it. We don't need to get selling with them. We don't need to be pushing them. We're not pushing them into something they don't want to do. It's purely a sorting process. And it's quite easy. And the attitude you've got to have is you've got to have to kiss an awful lot of princes, an awful lot of frogs, sorry, to find a prince. And we do get some nuggets. We do find that you get some people who tell you they're going to do this and they don't. And usually the rule I find is for every 10 people who tell me they're going to do it, 3 or 4 will join up. And a couple of those will be really good. And it's just going through the sorting process, and don't take it personally. It's shocking, actually, how many people then join a bit later on down the line. So what we need to do is to start generating some leads. And there's 2 rules for this. First of all, if you work lead generation hard, it becomes dead easy. You're just going through the numbers. You're just doing the same things again and again. And I find that dead easy. But if you're only working a few leads and you don't do it properly, it seems to become hard work. So I would say just generate an awful lot of leads and get on with it, and just get your team built. The faster you do it, the faster you start getting that money coming in. And another rule is you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. There's loads and loads of people out there. Some people are going to love this. Some people aren't. You're not here to push them. But the right person won't mind how good you are at it or how much you know, or they don't mind if you have to go and ask for a question or something like that. The right people will just get involved and do it, no matter what you do with them anyway. So free leads, we can generate lots and lots of free leads. And try this as a little experiment now. If you can go into your own timeline and just post this text I've got here. I'm just curious, how many of you are interested in earning £100 to £1,000 in your spare time? So I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Just put that on your own timeline. And then give us a wave when you've got it done.
Are you doing it, Donna? Do it, do it.
Do it.
Just do it, folks. Okay.
I guess
Right.
do it. Just do it, guys.
Right, so guys, all this does is it just pumps people's curiosity. I'll give you a really good example of this. I put a post up on a group I used to manage, and within about 2 minutes of it, Sheila sent me a message and says, I'm interested. And she's an absolute superstar on the team. Now, I knew Sheila and I hadn't approached her about the business, but this is a really gentle way of just saying, I've got something here, and the right people will put the hand up. And if you all got a Sheila in your team, you'd all be really happy. And then we didn't just got Sheila, we got Colin as well, and he's a superstar as well. So you can do this, and what I suggest is put it up, give it a couple of days, and then delete it off, and then maybe do something similar a couple of days later. And it's just that putting it up and getting people's notifications that works. And if you've done that, you should, most people by the end of tonight will have 3 or 4 people who say that they're interested. Now, you can do exactly the same in your shopping group. And remember, we use these shopping groups to get people in. Just go and post exactly the same thing in your shopping group.
Donna, do it, please.
It's going to be a fight here in a minute.
I'll let you do it.
I'm having a word with her when we come off here.
Are you going to do it?
I'm trying.
Good, good. I'll do it, Colin.
Are you do it?
I'm doing it. You do it in your group, Donna. I'm doing it in mine.
Okay.
I know sometimes people get a little bit shy about doing stuff like this, but imagine if one of your friends came in and joined the business and just earned an extra £2,000 a month after 6 months or a year. They'll thank you forever for it. And we've got something really good here, so we just share it with the people who are ready. But as I said, we don't want to get pushy. We don't want to get salesy with people.
Also, you want to get them before anybody else gets them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Dylan told me a story, actually, that he got a lead in a couple of weeks ago, and he went through the whole system. And at the end of it, the girl said, I've got a friend who does this. I'm going to go and do it with her. Now imagine if one of your friends joined Clean Easy with somebody else and did really well with it. That would make you a bit sick. Great. So we've all got that done. Yeah, right. Let's go to the next step. Now, what you can also do, we can do this now, is you can go into the external shopping groups and just use the initials of what you call your shopping group, and you can put an advert up like that. Now, Nikki Kaywood was generating 500 leads a week using little adverts like this across shopping groups all across the UK. And that was generating something like 20 to 30 people were joining her group. And that's why she's gone from zero to over £3,000 worth of income in about 2 years. So this is another good way of just generating a few leads. Right, move on to the next step. If everybody's ready. Now, another thing you can do is, especially in your own group, is you can boost up your adverts by using these checks. Now, these can be found on the TNT support group. The ones that are on there are purposely doctored so it doesn't say Clean Easy, but it just gives people an idea of what's going on. And I get much better responses when I use a nice little check like that. So you can stick those all over Facebook, send them out in email, send them out in Messenger, and these will really help as well. Now, again, keeping Facebook happy. You can't go crazy doing hundreds and hundreds of these. What I'd suggest is change the wording and the images, edit the images, whatever you want to do, every 5 posts or so. Spread your posting out across the day. You know, you might want to do a couple of product posts and then a couple of recruitment posts. Remember, again, to comment in those groups before you post. And it also helps, before you do pick up a ban, to have a second Facebook account. Because Facebook don't mind. I think the average person has 3 now. And if one gets banned, you get you've still got another one to work there. Get it into your group. However, you might want to use a separate Facebook account just for the recruitment side of things. Now, again, if we look at what Nikki Kaywood was doing, she was posting 200 a day over 2 different Facebook accounts, which is an awful lot. I wouldn't go quite that high, but maybe 20 to 30 a day over 2 accounts might be a good way of doing that. But that definitely will bring people into your team. Now, handling these leads is very, very easy. It's very, very easy. What I'd do is, if it's a friend that responds, just use your own language and say, "Here you are, Fred, have a look at these 3 short videos," and then message me back when you've watched them. And most people will have a look at it and come back to you and say, "Yes, I'm interested," "No, I'm not," or ask you more questions, which is nice and easy. What I suggest is use something called Bitly. I don't know if you have a look for Bitly. It's a link shortening system, and it just means you can copy the link to the 3 videos and just manage them on Bitly, so you can copy and paste them on your phone and everything else. You can also do that for links to your group as well, and that actually helps with not picking up Facebook bans. So use Bitly whenever you can. And yeah, Mel's just showing us something there. So that Bitly is really useful. Yeah. For your non-Facebook friends, when they reply to your advert, what you can do is try and get into a conversation with them first of all. Just say what you do now, how many hours you got. Get the conversation going first of all before you send them a link. And what you can do is just send them the link to the 3 videos, but wait until you've got a bit of a chat in advance. What I'd strongly suggest is getting an email address as well off them, and make a spreadsheet of these people, keep a record of them, because you want to follow them up later on. Remember, most people won't join straight away, but by following them, you'll find you get a lot of, I think most people sort of come in on the 2nd or the 3rd contact. So again, get that link to them. Use your own words for that. And then remember, we're just sorting through these people. We're just looking for the right ones. About 24 hours later, ask them if they managed to watch the videos. Some people will have watched it. Some people won't respond to you at all. They'll just run away. If they say, I haven't, just chase them up again a few days later. Maybe send them a couple of those checks. And it's just a process of following them up. Honestly, it's not rocket science at all. And then if they say, yes, I've watched it, great. Ask some questions. What did you like about the videos? And this just means they tell you what they're actually looking for. People say, I loved the idea I could work part-time. I liked I could work around the kids. You can actually use that to find the right checks and the right stories about that. Ask them how many hours a week do you have spare? What is it you're doing now? What have you done in the past? Just get a bit of a conversation going, and then let them just tell you what they're looking for. I would strongly suggest that you show them your shopping group and just explain what we do, just that we post products, we get orders, we work in outside groups, and we take a percentage of each one. Tell them it's fun posts, interactive posts, competitions and product sales, and just it's a bit of a party on Facebook. You can mention the party side as well. Invite them to one of your parties. So show them that as well. And most people seem to think that's quite easy and they'd like to do it. Explain gently how it works. Again, you can't say the wrong things. Tell them that the company will send the products out, or you can get them locally. Say that we've got lots of full training and support. Again, get those checks out. And then I usually tell them something like Nikki's story, which is quite good. Most people, if they come in and work it, make £250 to £300 in the first month. And that's going to go much higher these next couple of months. And then the important part, guys, is ask them if they'd like to see the support group. And the whole point of that is they can come in, they can say we're transparent, so get a friend request off them, add them into the support group, everybody else will say hello to them. And this makes them realize there's a bit of a bigger picture. They can look at the training. If they're not ready to pay straight away, they'll do it further down the line when they're ready. And then once they're in the support group and they've had a look, just ask the question, how quickly do you want to start making money? See which starter kit is best for them. Most people come in on the £25 kit, and then a lot of people upgrade to the bigger one. Just explain the startup cost. Don't be afraid of the startup cost. It is a business. It's extremely cheap to get started with this. I think the first business I started cost me £2,000 at the age of 18. So £25 is never here nor there. And I just say something like, yes, there's a small fee to get started, and most people earn that back within 48 hours. And that includes 2 websites, a small amount of catalogs, your registration, your first year's accounts, and your paperwork. If somebody thinks that £25 is too much for that, they're not the right person. So just be energetic about it. And then if they're joining now, what you can do is work with your sponsor, but all I do is I go into the Clean Easy login area. There's an area where you can build your team, and you can send them a registration invite. And simply scroll down the page, select the kit that they need, and generate the link or send it out by email. It's pretty easy once you've got the hang of it. And then what I'd suggest is, as you're sending them the link, I try and explain there's some simple terms and conditions. I just say, look, they ask you to be ethical. If a customer wants to send products back, they can. Is that all right with you? Get a yes. And say they also give you a small credit facility, so you don't have to pay for goods up front, but they do ask that you pay, so 14 days. Is that all right with you? And get a yes. And so there's a few terms and conditions there. You can stop whenever you want to. There's no maximums or minimums. Is that all right with you? Get another yes. And then you've got a choice. You can either just send them the link by email, but I find I get a higher success if I physically get on the phone while they do it. Now, that's not always possible. Some people are just terrified of speaking on the phone. But I'll just get on the phone and say, I'm just going to help you in case you get stuck. And and most people do that. They might get a question. If you can't get them on the phone, simply just, again, say if you get stuck at any point, let me know. And what happens at that point is most people join up, but you do get some people who look at it and think, ooh, terms and conditions, I don't want to know for whatever reason. And they don't join up, or they join up a few weeks later. So again, just a sort of process. Don't take it personally. And then as soon as they're registered, welcome them to the team. That's really important. Arrange the training session. Get your upline to help you with this, or your sponsor. Get them moving as fast as they can. And that's really important, guys. We want to get some momentum. I usually sort of say to people, I need a 2-hour slot when you can focus on this. Get them started. And we usually find that if people get on and get the 10 products on, start joining the groups and get moving with it, that they'll start to get the orders coming in online. It is weird that some people struggle with the online retail and other people do really well with it. And I sometimes scratch my head. I don't know why. Sometimes I see people really working hard and they don't quite get it, but then it clicks and it starts to move forward. So just get them moving with it, and that the orders come in once they get busy with it. If they're going to join later, if they haven't got the money or they're going to do it later on, again, we get them into the TNT group as a guest and let them see the positives. Quite often, when people say, I haven't got the money, it's because they've not been convinced yet, or they've not seen enough. And that's why if we get them in there, they can see more checks, they can chat to everybody else. And once they see that we're real people, that can help them to get moving forward. And a good thing to do is just, as soon as you've got them in the group as a guest, get a few of your team just to say hello to them. I mean, the group's really positive and friendly. You don't really need to do that, but I find, message me or Mel or your upline and get them to say, welcome, have you got any questions? And it's just about being friendly and fun. We're not here to push people. Following up on the long term. Now, what I said was most people will not join straight away for whatever reason. So it helps to keep a record of those that show interest and just keep going back to them every now and again. There's an expression, the money's in the list, or follow-up equals fortune, and that's what it's about. Just keep following up with stories. It's amazing how timing changes everything. I think if I'd gone to Sheila 2 or 3 weeks before she saw the advert, she probably wouldn't have been interested. It was just the way the timing went. Yeah, that's it. It's weird with timing, but we've got this beautiful thing called Christmas where everybody starts spending money, everybody needs money, and then they're all in debt in the new year. And now is the time just to get on and push this, and you're really going to see your team explode. Now, there's another thing called a contact manager, which if you can afford to do this, it's not expensive, it really makes a big difference to your business. Now, let me just give you an example of this. Let's go over here. Come on. Now, come on. Now, when you're working leads, there's a much easier way to do it. And what we can do is we can set you up with what we call a landing page here. And this means that whenever you get somebody interested, you can either take their name and email address and enter it into this little form, or you can direct them to this page. And the beauty about this is that I manage it and we do it all for you. And it means that on day one, they get an automatic email that goes out and says, please go and watch these 3 videos, and then email us back if you've got any questions. And then day 5, it sends them another reminder and gives them a bit more information with checks, and it follows people up. Now, as I said, most people don't join straight away, but this looks nice and professional. It gives a bit of credibility, and it keeps just reminding them we're there. And again, it's about timing. And what we find is that it's usually the 2nd, the 3rd, or the 4th contact that people actually join the business. And they might look at the videos and forget about it. And every time an email goes out for me now, because I've got about 4,000 people on my list, I get people saying that they want to do this, and it brings them in. And basically, you're throwing away an awful lot of good people if you don't keep following them up. So this does it automatically, and it's linked to something known as an autoresponder, which is just the emails that go out. And we manage this all for you, and you just keep an eye on the emails. And normally, for a landing page, it would cost you about £50 to start it up. For the autoresponder, it's £20 a month. I've put a package together a cost, which means for £30 a year, just £30 a year, you can all have one of these with the email system built in. And it's all managed for you. Once it's up, there's very little you don't have to do anything for it except maybe put some people's details in here if they don't do it themselves. So if you want one of these, speak to your sponsor or send me a message, and we can usually get this set up within about 48 hours. So for £30 a year, that will really bring you in. However, there's something else we can add on to this. A lot of the serious people within the business actually buy in paid leads. There's a lovely website called Working Mums, and they advertise to mothers who are looking to stay at home with the kids and work flexible hours. And you can buy, you pay so much per month, either per lead or per block amount, and it usually gives you about 60 to 100 leads. And we find these people are fantastic. And what we do is we get Working Mums to direct them to this page, and it really supercharges your business and pushes you forward. And again, it's just a sorting process. So if you're interested in that, do let us know, and we can get that set up for you. We might even set up a bit of an ad pool as well if people were interested and wanted to do it in small amounts. So £30 a year for the landing page, but that will really work and get your business moving forward. So yes, the contact manager, it saves you time because it automatically follows up your leads. It gets your future sign-ups much better, and I've just given you the example there. So, generating more leads. There's loads of other places you can generate these leads. There are certain job sites out there, such as Indeed and Azuna and a load of others, where you can get free advertising on there. You've got to be careful how you do it. Speak to me or somebody else before you do it with Indeed, because it is a bit tricky, but you can get an awful lot of leads from these. Gumtree allow you to put cheap advertising on. I think it's about £25 a month. You can also get cards and flyers printed up and put them everywhere you want. You know, you stick them on people's cars, leave them at the cash machine. A good story I heard was somebody went around a church car park one Sunday evening, and all these people are sitting there in church praying that they haven't got enough money and got all these problems. And when they come back, there's a little card on the car saying, earn an extra income. So that's a nice one. You can also go into supermarkets and put leaflets into the magazines that are on the rack.
I put them by the cash machines.
Yeah. Oh, Dylan. Yes, you can put them on cash machines. You can put them in clothes and in stores, you know, handbags and all sorts of things. You can even get a car advert printed up for about £25 on the back of your car. Something like love Facebook, earn so much per month. Direct them to your website. I was going to say something else there. Also, if you're putting catalogs out, you can put a flyer out with it at the same time. Don't put it in the catalog, but physically put it through the door at the same time. If you go in the door anyway, you might not get a customer, but you might get another distributor. And also we've got paid leads and landing pages. So really, guys, it's just about getting busy with everything. If you want to do lots of orders, get busy and lots of orders will come in. If you want a team, just get busy generating the leads and working the numbers. You don't have to be highly skilled. You don't have to be a salesperson. Just get on and get moving with that. Long term, you want to create a large list of people who've shown interest at some point, and your business will just grow and grow. Now, one of the things that really does help is being a great example for the new people that come in. So be a leader and get good at this. You know, most of the people who come in, if you look at Nikki, she's earning over £3,000 a month. When she started, she was really shy. She wouldn't get on the phone. She's still quite quiet, but she's getting better at this. And you will develop as you go along. Read the essential books. Go Pro. There's a link to it on the support page, and it's free. Everybody needs to read that book. That will help you when you're speaking to people. There's another great book called Develop the Mindset of a Professional Network Marketer by Dave O'Connor. I think that's about £7 off Amazon, and that's a really good book to read. It's small little chunks every day. So get into the personal development. There's loads of videos and training things on YouTube and our support group as well. Retail, work towards getting your £700 to £1,000 a month. Now's the time to get busy with doing that. Get the catalogs around your friends and family. Whatever you want to do, just get moving with it. Online, the orders are there. The events are really important as well, guys. Now, I can't stress how important the events are. Now, if I can find the TNT site. Here we go. Here we go. Where's it gone? Right. Now, this Saturday, or is it next Saturday? I think it is.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday, there's a 10 steps workshop up in Scotland, and that's about exactly this, about building your team and recruiting people and how to talk to people. There's another one, which is in Yorkshire as well. I don't know what date that is, but there's one every month in Yorkshire. And I'd suggest if you're within sort of 2 to 3 hours worth of driving time, is get along to these events. There's another one up in Scotland as well, which we'll try and put a link for. That's the 10 steps one again. There's another training, what they call a Millionaires with Lynn MacDonald in Scotland as well. And you can go up and have a meal and stay over and meet some of these people. Lynn MacDonald's above Gavin, and I think she also makes about £25,000 every 4 weeks. And then if you get down towards London and Nottingham, there's all sorts of things going on all over the place. So it's worth just nagging us and saying, where are these events? And get along to these as much as you can. You'll be blown away because it gives you a much bigger picture. And also, don't forget, we've got that big conference in the new year up in Birmingham.
That's within the Cleaning Success Group. If there's any groups near them, like multi-groups, like, you know, like
Yeah, that's another good point. If you look at the other Clean Easy groups, because there's the Clean Easy Success Group and there's the Online Tips and there's Gavin's Terrier Group, they'll give you listings then of other events that are going on. And you also get a lot of help and support there. So try and get along to these things. They're really, really important. And there's also, if you look on the support group, which I'll bring up as well, team. Now, slowly, as time permits, we're adding an awful lot of stuff on. So this page here, guys, the home page is the 3 short videos, which you want to pass to people. But if you have a look, there's some training on how to do all sorts of things online. And we're adding more to it all the time. Great training there on the competitions. Definitely watch that one. There's some training on the Facebook parties. So if you want to do some of these, there's loads of tips there. And then finally, in the webinar section, there's a webinar archive of loads of people, including Nikki Kaywood, about how she's done things. But there's also the live stream trainings from the Dublin and the Birmingham conference. And get on and just watch a little bit of this sort of stuff every day, 10 minutes every morning. Put it on your mobile phone when you're on the bus or whatever you're doing. Sheila will tell you how good these things are. They just really get you geared up going. It's fantastic. And then if we go back, I think we're almost finished. So, be a leader, read the books, get your retail moving. Anybody can do it. Promote and attend events. Praise your team at every opportunity when they achieve something new on the group. The group's absolutely fantastic for patting people on the back. And that really makes a difference. You don't get that in a job. You know, you get some attention when you do things wrong. But here we're just pushing everybody to do better, and it's a really nice system. And then just duplicate what you see. Find some people who are good at this. Find a lot of good customers, and it works a treat. And finally, it's just to say we're here to help you to get you where you want to be. You've just got to nag us and remind us. You know, we're busy with people joining the team all the time now. So it's just about putting your hands up and asking for help. So after all of that, is there any questions? Is there anything anybody wants to go over? I'm going to try and unmute everybody in a second so I can hear, but I've lost a bit of it. It's great, this technology. Stop the share. There we go. Right.
I don't think I'm on mute.
Right, hang on. So there's Sheila, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm not muted.
I can't see anybody.
I
You
can
got any
hear
questions, Sheila? Donna's shaking her head. Colin, you got any questions?
Can't hear you. You're muted.
You can't-
Oh, sorry. Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
I've got no questions.
Great. Great.
My phone's going crazy here. I've had 1, 2, 3 responses already.
Wow.
So have I, yeah.
Have you?
Good.
I've got 5 on there responding to it already.
Wow, brilliant. Well done, guys.
It's beautiful.
Could be a long night.
What you've got to understand, for some people, if they need to make money, they get a bit embarrassed about approaching their friends when you do something. And that's why if you just put a nice little post up like that, they can approach you without any pressure. Do you all understand that? It's just really nice. We don't want to go pushing anybody or doing anything nasty, so it's quite a nice way of doing it. And you can do that repeatedly, delete it off in a couple of days and put it back on.
Nobody's responded to mine. Never mind.
Never mind.
Maybe, like Colin. Well, we'll get
So, yeah, any question, guys? Do you have any questions about retail or anything online? Or
Nah.
No.
I'll probably think of loads of things when we go offline, but
Good. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for all attending this tonight. I shall get this up as quick as I can with a recording. And again, just a reminder, guys, if you need help, if you need support, that's what we're here for. And just make sure you push this down to your teams and onwards and upwards. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers, Mark.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, John Boy. And it's always me. I need golfers.
Hi everyone.
Tatty bye.
Bye.